Hello everyone, welcome to the Ginger Snaps here. I'll be discussing horror movies with you guys in a very blunt way. I'm your host, Steven Harrold, and in today's video, I'd like to personally say, first of all, Happy Valentine's Day. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys my review for My Bloody Valentine 3D, which was released on January 16th of 2009, 15 years ago. In January, a Valentine's Day themed horror film released in January. Good job. If you guys remember, I had done the very first My Bloody Valentine review, and I gave it a good rating. It was a classic, and to find out that this movie ended up getting remade, after revisiting the trailer and everything, it was like, why was this movie even fucking remade in the first place? No idea. But they did remake it, and a lot of people did walk out of the theater, kind of scratching their heads, and some people loved it, some people didn't really care for it, and some people actually absolutely hated it. So what did I think of it? Well, I never got to see it in theaters, but I got to rewatch it for the first time in quite some time. So, on the 15th anniversary, which would have been back in January, but the film's still 15 years old, let's give ourselves a Valentine's Day kind of vibe when it comes to this film, and let's hear what I have to say about it. So, here is my review for My Bloody Valentine 3D. For the story of this film, of course, it basically borrows the first film's premise. Harry Warden is going on a massacre on Valentine's Day, but there is some kind of changes. Harry Warden did become the last survivor of the mine. He was the one who killed everybody in the mine. And then we have a character, Tom, who basically survived. And he was apparently the cause of the mine to have an accident. Some years, about 1 or 2 years go by where a bunch of the teens, especially Tom, go to the mine, and they're going to have a party when Harry Warden decided to go on a massacre on Valentine's Day. And then we cut 10 years later, where Tom has returned back to the town, and he's about to sell the mine. He gets tangled with his previous flame, and an old friend of his who, kind of just took his flame away from him. But a bunch of murders start happening, and everyone fears that it's Harry Warden back from the dead. Now, for the premise of this film, it's okay by standards. Just to, kind of homer in on this, the real reason why this movie got made was because of the 3D gimmick. It's in the title, My Bloody Valentine 3D. That's why they decided to do that. But when it comes to the story, it's more of the same kind of stuff, but it feels a little bit more bland, especially where the movie ends and where it goes from there. It's basically like, this is so fucking different from the original, which the original has some sort of charm to it. This remake is basically, with its story, not really, accepted by some people, but also at the same time, was it even fucking necessary? With the changes that they made, not really. The characters are also kind of bland as well. We do have Jensen Ackles in this movie playing Tom, who, funny enough, if anyone ever fucking noticed it, this movie came out in 2009. The same year, the Friday the 13th remake came out. Remember that video I just fucking did yesterday? 15 years ago, that movie fucking came out. But it's funny, Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki both were in horror movie remakes the same fucking year. And they were a month apart. This one, January 16th, and then Friday the 13th, February 13th. And it's like, obviously they were in between breaks from filming Supernatural. But I feel like Jared Padalecki kind of got the better end of it because he was in a well-established franchise, Friday the 13th. But then I feel like Jensen Ackles, especially with his character and what they did with his character in this fucking movie, maybe he fared a little bit better. Either way, Jensen Ackles is okay in this movie. We do also have the amazing Tom Atkins. Yeah, Tom Atkins is in this movie. He plays the retired sheriff. You know, I can't get enough of Tom Atkins. But other than that, when it comes to all the other characters, there is the one guy who I remember he was in the first Final Destination movie. He played an asshole in that film. And in this film, he plays a real asshole. Basically, the girl, like when they were at the party at that mine, he was with the girl, but clearly Jensen Ackles' girlfriend is the one he was more interested in. And then it's even revealed that he's fucking having an affair with the girl, with her employee. And it's just like, what the fuck are you? And then he got her fucking pregnant too. So it's like, good job, dude. But other than that, all the other characters in this movie are kind of, just let's throw them out the window. They're bland. They're kind of there just for a body count. That's all it is. So with the exception of Tom Atkins, with the exception of Jensen Ackles, and, the female lead, and basically the asshole fucking new sheriff now, they do their parts very well, but other than that, everyone else's characters are very bland, to say the least. Of course, we do have our antagonist, which is the miner, who, I mean, let's face it, this movie's 15 fucking years old now, guys. I can spoil it for you. In the beginning of the film, before the 10 years prior mark, it is Harry Warden. And it's like, okay, cool, we have Harry Warden as the killer in this movie. That's good. But then 10 years go by, and apparently Harry Warden was killed within that time frame. And then we have a new killer, a copycat killer, if you will. But what they do with the fucking character, it's like, okay, this has to be Harry Warden. And it turns out, spoiler guys, it's not Tom Atkins' fucking character, duh. It's Jensen Ackles' character, Tom, who has been affected by the murders from Harry Warden so badly that Harry Warden basically is in his head. And he's been confined to a mental institution for like 7 fucking years. And he slips in and out of himself and Harry Warden. Like in the end of the fucking film, it's like, okay, this has to be Harry Warden that they're interacting with, not actually Tom. But yeah, when it comes to the antagonist of this film, it's like it's a blatant obvious kind of, oh, let's try to be different, but at the same time it kind of doesn't land, because it's like, what are you fucking doing? Like, I thought this was supposed to be Harry Warden. I mean, I'm glad you guys had Harry Warden in the beginning, but to find out that now Harry Warden's subconscious is, inside of Tom's head, what the fuck happened there? When it comes to the gore and the kills of this movie, it does deliver. Did I see better kills in the original film? Oh, absolutely. But this film does have its merits. It has the fact that the kills are good in this film. I mean, Tom Atkins' kill is fucking amazing. We have a bunch of deaths in here, except for the one of them, which clearly, when the girl gets the shovel right through the mouth and separating the top part of her head and her jaw and the rest of her body, you can see that it's such a CG effect where the head just kind of slides, and it's like, oh god, that effect looks so fucking bad. And other than that, I mean, half the kills in this movie are not too bad. The gore's okay. There's just one problem. Half the kills and the gore in this film are heavily CGI'd because of the fact that, this movie, I forgot to mention, was shot in 3D. So we have to have 3D effects. We have to have 3D blood. We have to have 3D body parts coming right at you. Or, a knife coming to the screen, or a branch, or fucking whatever. But it really tones down the kills. It really does. By the end of this film, after rewatching it again, it was basically, it's an okay film. It's just not my cup of tea. I mean, this is one of those remakes where it's like, when you think of all the horror movie remakes that came out, like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Thing, The Blob, The Fly, fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre, this one kind of gets lost in the shuffle because of the fact that it's like, oh yeah, that's right, My Bloody Valentine did have a remake. But the only problem is that you end up remembering that not only was it a remake, but it had the attachment of 3D, which this is where I get to say this now. The fact that My Bloody Valentine, why the fuck was it even shot in 3D? What was the purpose of it? Like, why did we have to see this film in 3D? I don't really fucking know, but every time, like, when I rewatched it for this review, I didn't even watch it in fucking 3D, because the 3D doesn't really hold up that well. And it's just baffling to me, like, okay, let's remake My Bloody Valentine, but let's also shoot it in 3D. Why? I don't fucking get it. It kind of dumbs it down for this film. But other than that, when I after rewatching it again, you know, with the characters, the kills, the story and everything, it's just like, yeah, okay, I understand that you wanted to bank on the name of My Bloody Valentine, but the fact that the film is not really necessary to begin with, especially with the gimmick on top of it, and the unnecessary changes that this film made, it just kind of just falls flat. I mean, I know there's some people who love this film. I just happen to be not one of them. So anyways, guys, for my rating, I'm going to give My Bloody Valentine 3D a 4.5 out of 10. So tell me, guys, what did you guys think of My Bloody Valentine 3D? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you also hit that thumbs up and subscribe for more content. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can get notified about all the other videos coming out on this channel. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. This has been the Ginger Snaps here. My name is Steven Harrold. Happy Valentine's Day. And I'll talk to you guys later, and remember to also stay spooky.